Hi guys, my name's Anna and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my all-time favorite drugstore products. So if you want to learn about some affordable but really high quality products, then stick around and let's get started. The first product I'm going to be sharing with you guys is the Nivea Men's Sensitive Post Shave Balm. It looks like this. This is used as a primer, so you would put it on your face before you start any of your other face makeup. Nikki Tutorials is actually a beauty YouTuber who made this really popular. The reason she picked it up is because one of the main ingredients is glycerin, and glycerin is something that will really make makeup stick to your skin. So, what you do with this is you're just going to take out a little bit on your fingers, and you're just going to rub it into your skin until it's tacky. When you first start rubbing it in, it'll be smooth, and then once it gets tacky, you know you're ready and set to go and put on your foundation. A really awesome thing about this product is that it's 3.3 fluid ounces, but it's only about $5. Since this is a men's product, it's so much cheaper. Say that if it was in a store like Sephora, it would probably be around like $50. So that's really awesome. It's also in a glass container, which is really nice. So yeah, you get a lot for what you're paying for, and it's a really great product. So I definitely recommend trying to pick this up. I found mine at Walgreens, but you can probably also find it at any drugstore near you. Alright, so moving on to foundation. I have tried a ton of different drugstore foundations. I was using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation for a while, and then I finally picked up the L'Oreal True Match to try it out because a lot of people said that it was one of their very favorite foundations for a drugstore. A lot of people said that they liked it even better than high-end foundations, so I picked mine up and I got mine in N1 because I'm very pale. I love this foundation. They also make it in several different forms. They make the True Match Lumi. If you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend that because it'll make you look like luminous and glowy. The True Match is supposed to be a matte foundation. I find that the matte isn't like cakey and matte. It's matte enough that my oily skin doesn't look oily, but my skin still looks healthy and glowy, which I really, really like about this foundation. It's also it's like a medium coverage, but it's very light on the skin, which is really nice. So it doesn't feel cakey, and I just found that it's a really good foundation for an everyday use. This foundation retails for about $8. One really awesome thing about this foundation is that there's a huge range of colors, more than most drugstore foundations that you'll see, or even a lot of high-end foundations. The next products I'm going to be talking about are concealers. Now, I have two favorite concealers from the drugstore. The first one is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This concealer has been compared to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer a lot. This concealer is not too thick, which is nice because I like to put it on my under eyes to brighten. Since it's not that thick, it doesn't crease very easily either, which is very, very nice for a concealer. I have shade 15 Fair because I like to put it under my under eyes. So as you can see, it blends very, very nicely into the skin. And it has a very nice finish. It doesn't crease easily if you set it, so it's a very nice concealer. It's also just very smooth under the eyes and gives a good coverage for any dark circles or any discoloration that you may have. Another concealer I really like is the Age Rewind by Maybelline. They have a lot of different shades in this. I got this in the Brightener shade. So it's definitely a peachy shade because it's supposed to cancel out the darkness under your eye. This concealer also blends very nicely into the skin, and it doesn't crease very easily. So these two concealers are probably the best concealers I've ever tried at a drugstore, mainly because they do not crease under the eye. The next products I want to talk about are powders. I have three. So my first powder I'm going to be talking about is the Rimmel Stay Matte. Mine's obviously very worn out. This is a pressed translucent powder. It's very light. It has no color to it. What I do after I put my foundation and my concealer on is I just take a big brush and I just dust it all over my face. I found that this powder wears very well throughout the day. I don't see my skin getting oily very easily. This powder is also very cheap. It's around $5 and you can just find it at any drugstore. They also have different colors, so if you wanted some color to yours, you can definitely get that. I really recommend this product if you have oily skin and you just need something to quick mattify your whole face after your foundation. The next powder I'll be talking about is the Maybelline Fit Me powder. This powder is more of a powder foundation. It looks like this. This definitely has more color to it, but it's a very buttery, smooth foundation. It feels very, very nice going on the skin. It also has a very nice coverage, so if you wanted to just throw on a powder, this would be a very good one if you didn't want to wear a liquid foundation. You can also just throw this on over your foundation. I find that when I use this one, I don't put it over my whole face. I just put it in my T-zone or where it gets most oily because it is a little bit of a heavier foundation because it has more pigment in it. The last powder I'll be talking about is the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. A lot of people like to use the Laura Mercier loose powder for things like baking under the eye or under your bronzer. That is a very expensive product, but this is a drugstore version. When you open it up, it comes with this puff like this, and it's just a loose white powder, so I just tap some into the cap like so, and then I'll just use that if I want to bake under my eye or under my bronzer. You would do that to clean up any areas or set them very nicely. This product is $6 at the drugstore. There's also another high definition loose powder at the drugstore that I've heard good things about, which is the Sonia Kashuk one. So if you're looking for a loose powder, I would definitely try this one or the Sonia Kashuk one. Moving on to blush, I've had a really hard time finding blushes that I really like in the drugstore because most of them have chunky glitter in them or shimmery, which I don't like. But I recently have found this e.l.f. blush palette, and this is the dark one. There's also a light one. So inside, this is what it looks like. These blushes are so incredibly creamy and pigmented. So I'll swatch these for you guys. So in this palette, you get a corally pinky color. You get a really just true pink with a little bit of a purple undertone, and you get a brown pink dark color with some red in it. And then there's this color, which this is the only color that I don't like in the palette. It's a reddish pink color with gold glitter in it. These blushes are very, very buttery and creamy and have an amazing, amazing pigment. Look at that. Just so beautiful. That's the coral color. Beautiful pigment. They're so buttery when, like, the pigment is just so amazing. They're all very buttery when you rub into them, and very nice. This color has some gold glitter in it, which I'm not very fond of, but it's still a very pigmented, beautiful color. So I highly, highly, highly recommend trying out this palette. The colors are so, so buttery and pigmented, and they feel so nice and smooth on the cheek. So if you're looking for a blush palette, I would definitely check this one out. This blush palette is also only $6, so it's awesome. 4 blushes for $6 is a really good deal, especially because of the high quality and the very pigmented, smooth, buttery formula of these blushes. Alright, next I'm going to be talking about a highlighter. There used to not be very many highlighters in the drugstore, but lately the drugstore brands have been stepping up their game and getting some highlighters out there. There's a lot of liquid illuminators that I've seen, but I have not tried them. I've been trying to get my hands on the Wet n Wild highlighters that look so amazing. So many people are raving about them, but I haven't been able to find them at any of the drugstores near me. If you're looking for an affordable highlighter and you happen to come across the Wet n Wild highlighters, definitely grab those because I've seen amazing things. They look beautiful. I wish I could get my hands on one, but I have not yet. This highlighter is Mary Luminizer by the Balm. I would consider the Balm a high-end brand, but the Balm is carried by several drugstores, one being Kohl's, which is where I got mine. I've heard that a couple Walgreens carry the Balm in like the West Coast, so if you're in that area, you can maybe pick this up at a Walgreens. This is a more pricey item compared to everything else I have. This goes for $24, but it is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. One of my very all-time favorites. It's just so pigmented, so creamy, a beautiful gold undertone. I think this color would look good on all skin colors. It's very versatile and very pretty. So if you want to spend a little more money on a really pretty highlighter, I would definitely recommend the Balm Mary Luminizer. Next, I'm going to get into shadows, and there are tons of shadows in the drugstore, but one of my all-time favorites that I've found recently are the L'Oreal Infallible shadows. These shadows are like a foiled shadow. They're so beautiful, so creamy, so buttery. These shadows come with a press inside because the shadow's not exactly a loose pigment, but it's not exactly a pressed pigment. So you want to keep this on to keep it from drying out. These colors are so, so gorgeous. This shade is Amber Rose. It's so creamy when you go into it. So beautiful. Let me just swatch this. So creamy, so gorgeous, catches the light beautifully. Another one of my favorite shades in this collection is Golden Emerald. Such a beautiful, beautiful green, shimmery color. I love this color so much. Oh, it's so beautiful. These shadows are so pigmented, so buttery. Look at that. So beautiful. Love these shadows so much. There's a lot more colors. These are two of my very favorites, but you should definitely head to the drugstore and check out some of these. Definitely grab these shadows if you get a chance. Next, I'm going to be moving on to mascaras. I cannot tell you how many drugstore mascaras I've tried. They all seem the same. None of them really do what I want them to until I found these two. So this is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator, which is obviously very worn out. I use this every day. It's a long, skinny wand. I use this first going in with my lashes. This seriously just lengthens your lashes, makes them look so pretty. I've recommended this to so many friends. They say great things about it, and I love this mascara so much. This mascara is about $7, so definitely check this out the next time you need a mascara. The next mascara that I have from the drugstore is a L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. I love this mascara so much. It's so black. It's the blackest mascara I've ever used. A lot of people love the darkness of this mascara. One of the best ways to use this mascara is if you have false lashes on and your lashes just aren't really matching up. Definitely go over your lashes and the false lashes together with this, and it'll make the color just look so beautiful and blended. Now I'm going to be talking about liners. These are gel liners, and they are the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liners. These are the best gel liners that I have ever come across. A lot of people I have heard like these better than any high-end gel liner they have tried before. They're so pigmented, so smooth. They wear really well through the day. They don't smudge, they don't move around on your face. They're just very nice. These liners are just so creamy, as you can see. Very high pigment, very black, so creamy and smooth, and they just glide on and they stay. They don't move around, they don't smudge, and they're just very nice. So I definitely recommend trying to pick up one of these if you're looking for a gel liner. Now moving on to a liquid liner. I'm a huge liquid liner person. I love liquid liner over gel liner. I've tried a lot of drugstore liners, and what I found is a lot of the formulas are very watery and not very pigmented, not very black. A lot of them rub off throughout the day, which is not what you want. Until I found this one. This is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. NYX also has a liquid liner in vinyl, which I've never tried. I'm guessing it's kind of shiny, but this is the matte one. It's so pigmented, so black, does not move throughout the day, so matte especially. It's really hard to find a drugstore liquid liner that really is truly matte. This one is very matte. Obviously it's still wet, so it's not looking quite matte. But it's very black, it's not watery. I love the formula. If you like brushes instead of like pens, this is definitely a great liquid liner, and you should definitely check this out. This liner is about $7, and you can see that the liner is starting to dry matte. It's very nice, and I would definitely recommend picking this up if you need a new liquid liner. Now moving on to lips, I'm going to talk about a lip liner first. This is the Sonia Kashuk lip liner in True Red. I love these lip liners. They're very nice. It has a high pigment, and it's just very nice on keeping your lipstick in. These lip liners aren't creamy, they're more drying, which I find helps make the lipstick that you put on top stay longer, because I think that if it's a more creamy lip liner, then your lipstick is more likely to slip around your face throughout the day. So I really love these lip liners, especially if you need a red lip liner. I would definitely recommend this because red's very hard to do without a lip liner, so definitely check these out. Next, I have 3 Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks. These are all nudes. I love these lipsticks because they're very creamy and hydrating on your lips. The first shade I have is 235 in Warm Me Up. It's a very warm nude. It has a mauve tone underneath it, and it's just very pretty. The next shade I have is 920 in Nude Lust. This is a very pretty nude. It's very light and pretty. It's peachy, but not too much. It has a little bit of a darker undertone compared to the 915, which is Blushing Beige. This one is really what its name is. It's very light. It's like a blush color, and it's a very nudie pink color. And I can see that the 920 has a little more dark undertone than the 915. Next, I'm going to be talking about a sponge. This is the Real Techniques Complexion Sponge. So what you would do is dampen the sponge and then use it to apply concealer or foundation or any cream products that you might have. This sponge is very different because it has this flat side, which is really good for getting under the under eye. A lot of people actually like this sponge better than the Beauty Blender, so I would definitely check this out. It's only $7, so if you're looking for a new sponge, I would go ahead and try to pick one of these up because they're very nice. They're also very soft. One of the softest sponges I've ever used. It feels like a cloud, so light. And yeah, I just really love this sponge. You should definitely check it out. The last thing from the drugstore I'm going to be talking about is actually a brush cleaner. It is the Sonia Kashuk Brush and Sponge Cleanser. It comes in a spray bottle, so what I do is I just spray it on a paper towel and rub my brushes around in it. This is a spot cleaner, so you would clean your brushes with this in between using different colors. It's not a deep cleanse, so you still need to deep cleanse your brushes, but this has definitely been a lifesaver for me. It's a huge bottle. This cleanser runs for about $7, so it's a really, really good deal. I've had this for a long time. You can also use it on sponges. I spray it in my sponges and just wring it out with my hands under the sink before I use them, just to get any excess dirt and foundation out of them. That is all for my favorite drugstore products. Thank you guys so much for watching. All the products that I talked about today will be linked down in the description if you guys want to go check those out. In the comments below, please leave me any suggestions for drugstore products that I didn't mention because I love to try out some new things that you guys like. Also, please leave any comments about videos that you'd like to see in the future, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!